Exogenetic process, part 1. Yes. Now we are going to learn chapter number 3, exogenetic process, part 1. Now we are going to start the new chapters today. We'll learn chapter number 3. First, we'll learn what is the introduction of this chapter. Now, see here. In this exogenetic process means what? Exogenetic process, in the simple words, we will understand that the process which are happening exterior part of the earth are called exogenetic process. Yes, the whatever the process or whatever the happenings are to be done externally in the part of the earth that are called as exogenetic process. Now let's focus on the introduction. First point, many landforms are formed due to internal movements. Many processes occurring on the earth's surface also lead to the formation or degradation of landforms continuously. Means in the chapter number 2, we have studied about endogenetic. That is internally, what are the movements internally that is happening, that we have studied. But in chapter number 3, exogenetic means externally, means due to the internal movement there are many landforms, as well as there are external movements. There also will find different changes, different landforms are formed. That new formation due to this exterior part of the earth that we are going to learn in this lesson. Now see, in this lesson we will be studying exogenetic, that means external, and the landforms formed by them. We are going to learn the external part of the earth, their landforms, how it is created, what are the reasons, that we are going to learn. External process occur because of the forces working on the earth's surface. They are mainly solar energy, gravitational force, and kinetic energy associated with the moving objects on the earth's surface. Now this external process, why it occurs? Because there is a force working on the earth's surface. Which type of force? This gravitational force, kinetic energy, solar energy. Due to these forces, the external process occurs. Okay, this is the main reason. Now in detail we are going to learn what are the new landforms are formed in this exogenetic process. Now, there is one information here they have given. Let's focus what it is. See, landforms are formed on the Earth's surface as a result of internal movements are called primary and secondary. Means the movements which are done internally, that due to that new landforms are formed, that are primary and secondary landforms. And for example, continents, mountain, plateaus, plain, etc. These are the examples of primary and secondary landforms. Because of the external process like weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition, the primary and the secondary landforms give way to tertiary landforms. Means because of the, see, internally two lands are formed. We can say primary and secondary. But because of the external process like weathering, erosion, we can see it externally. There is also the deposition of the ground. So this type of, because of this reason, what is happening? Tertiary landforms can be seen. Means first we can see there is a primary and secondary. Then there is a, after the landforms primary and secondary, we will see tertiary landforms. For example, see here, valleys, sand dunes, delta, U-shaped valleys, etc. These are the examples of tertiary landforms. In this example they have given, now we are going to learn in more detail. Let's move on. Yes. Now here is the main chapter. Okay. Now, first let's understand what is weathering. What is weathering? Breaking or weakening of rock is a natural phenomena. It is called as weathering. What is weathering? Weathering means breaking or weakening of rock is called weathering. Means easily with our hand, easily we can't break the stone, student. Yes, because it's a natural phenomena. Breaking or weakening of the rock is called as the weathering. Weathering can be of three types. Three types of weathering: mechanical, chemical, biological. Mechanical weathering means physical weathering. In arid climates, mechanical weathering is dominant, while in humid climates, chemical weathering is more effective. Now here there is a comparison between three types of weathering: chemical, biological, and mechanical. So what they have said here, in arid climates means what? That example, arid climates means example deserts. They very little rain you can see, or there is no rain at all. It is too dry. It is too dry. That is known as arid climate. Now in this arid climate, mechanical weathering is dominant, while in humid climates, and chemical weathering is more effective. Means in this chemical weathering, most probably where you will see this chemical weathering, in the sea coast area, because there is a humid climate. Humid climate means which area? Sea coast area. Means there the air moisture contains with the other minerals. Chemical weathering you can
Hello.
see in the, hello?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam.
Hello.
Pradna madam, your voice is very low.
Voice is low, ma'am. But
Hello?
already, ma'am, my means volume of the mobile is means full. It is. बहुत ही कम आ रहा है क्या? Okay, I'll try to means I'll speak it more, little bit louder, huh, ma'am? Because my volume of the mobile is full. Okay, now see here where I was. Yes, I was telling you all about the arid climates. Arid climates means what? It is arid climates means in the desert area. Means this mechanical weathering can be seen in the deserts region. But and in the chemical weathering you can see in the humid climates. Humid climate means sea coast areas. Biological weathering occurs because of living organism. Biological weathering, why it happens? Because there is a living organism. Living organism means what, student? Living organism means you can see small insects, human beings, animals, plants. These are the reasons. Uh, these are the reasons that biological weathering occurs. Okay, so this was the difference between three types of weathering. Now, one by one, we are going to learn in detail. Now, to understand the first type of weathering, we are going to learn. We are going to take this activity. See here. You have to take an onion, cut it in the middle. You will see the two parts. Two parts are separated. You have to observe the middle part. Means you have to observe the layers of the onion. Okay, layers of the onion. Now you have to try to remove each skin layer from these parts. Now, see, this example we are going to take it in the mechanical weathering. How it is, we'll see. You just keep it in your mind that you have keep the example of onion in your mind, and we are going to study the mechanical weathering. Yes. Now see, you will notice that as we can remove each and every outer layer of the onion, similarly in nature rocks undergo such process. Yes, as we cut the onion into parts, we can easily remove the layers. Yes, but here similarly in the nature rock also the process goes on like this only. Okay, now on your screen you can see the image of the rock over there. Yes, you can see the layers you can see. These are the layers of the rock. Yes, this one, then the second layer, third layer, fourth layer, and many more. Here you can see same like an onion, you can see the layers of the rock also. The exposed part of the rock heats more while the inner part is comparatively cooler. Now what they have asked, the part which is outer layer, means the last layer you can see, the last layer of this rock, it gets heat. Yes, it gets heated due to the temperature. Yes, it gets heat. But the layer which is inside, inner part of the layer, that is comparatively cooler. Means the layer which is at the upper surface, there you can see it heats up. But the layer which is inside it, inner part layer, that is cooler. As a result, the outer layers of the rock fall apart from the main rock. This is called exfoliation of the rock. Here we have learned the new term, that is exfoliation. As a result, now what they have asked, the outer layer, the outer part of the rock, outer layer of the rock fall apart from the main rock. Means slowly due to this weathering, due to mechanical weathering, the rock will start expanding. Yes, due to some reasons of the mechanical weathering. That time, slowly you can say the main rock will fall apart from the rock. So this type of mechanical weathering is known as exfoliation. Yes, then. Now, here you can see mechanical weathering mainly occurs because of following reasons. Now, why this mechanical weathering? How it occurs? There are some reasons that we are going to learn. So here you can see there are 5 reasons: temperature, frost, crystal growth, release of pressure, and water. These are the 5 reasons due to this mechanical weathering occurs. Now first we are going to learn the first reason, that is temperature. Yes. First point of the temperature. The minerals in the rock expands because of heat and contract when temperature decreases. Now, to understand this temperature point, student, as we know, student, rock is made up of many different minerals. So different minerals have their own characteristics. Like some minerals, they react with the water, or some minerals, they react with the heat. Yes, this you have to keep it in your mind that rock, it is made by different minerals. And each mineral have their own features, their own characteristics. And sometimes it have the reaction also with one other mineral. So what they have said, the minerals in the rock expands because of heat and contract when temperature decreases. Yes, the minerals which are there in the rock, sometimes it expands also due to the heat. Yes, as we have studied just now in the exfoliation. Yes, but sometimes when the temperature decreases, it, you can see the contract. You can see the other reaction, that is it contracts. Then due to such continuous contracting and expanding, tension develops in the rock particles. Yes, contracting means it getting smaller, you can say. Expanding, it increases. Now, what they have asked here, due to this continuous process of contracting, expanding, you can take increasing, decreasing, increasing, decrease. Due to this reason, what will happen? You will see there is in the rock particles, tension will create. Tension means what? One type of stretch. How we stretch the rubber band? Yes, we give the tension to it. Tightness, we give it to it. Yes, that tightness, that tension is created in the rock, and that's why each mineral reacts differently to the temperature. So each minerals, it will show their characteristic, they show their features due to the temperature. Some minerals expand more while others do not expand as much. Sometimes what will happen, student, rock sometimes what will happen, you can see the rock has broken in 2 parts. You can see the shape of the rock is different. Why it has happened? Because the minerals which are expanding in the rock, there are also different ways. Consequently, the tension formed in the rock also increases and decreases. Yes, when we want to stretch the rubber band, student, okay, or when we want to pull the any rubber, that time what, it's upon us that how much we can stretch the rubber band. Yes, it depends upon us only. Yes, in the same case, in the tension which is formed in the rock, it also sometimes it is decreases and increases. As a result, crack develops. As a result, cracks develop in the rock and they break. Yes, due to this, due to the temperature in the mechanical weathering in the rock, what will happen? The rock will break. You can see there is a cracks on the rock. In areas where the diurnal range of temperature is higher, weathering of this type is common in the hot deserts. Yes. Now, what is diurnal? Diurnal means in day to day, every day. Due to this, every days, you can see the process. The temperature is higher. Sometimes the temperature higher, decrease, increase, decrease. There is a difference in the temperature. Then due to this type of weathering, mechanical weathering, where it occurs mostly in the hot deserts areas. Yes, means where is the temperature is very high in the hot desert, then this type of mechanical weathering can be seen. Okay. Then second reason of the mechanical weathering is frost. You know that the volume of the water increases when it freezes. In areas where the temperature drop below 0 degrees Celsius for quite some time, the water accumulated in the cracks and creeps in the rocks freeze. Now here creeps means what, student? Here, this one. Creeps. Creeps means you can see a deep crack, one of the crack only, but it is deep, a narrow opening, that is known as creeps. Its volume increases. This lead to the tension in the rock and they shatter. Now the image you can see, with the image we will learn due to the frost, how the mechanical weathering occurs. Now what they have said here, the volume of the water increases when it freezes. When the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, what you can see, we can see there is a snow over there. Yes, because the temperature has dropped down. Then after that, when the water is accumulated in the rock, yes, when the water is accumulated or snow is, or you can see the snow is there on the rock, that time what will happen? The snow will start melting there only on the rock. The water will accumulate there only on the place, and that time you can see the cracks and creeps in the rock due to the frost, due to the freeze. Its volume will increase. This leads to tension in the rock and they shatter. Already the tension is there in the rock. Yes, and due to the frost also, you can see there is a crease and cracks on the rock. See the image you can see, the rock is there in the frost area. You can see many cracks, creeps you can see due to the freezeness. So this type of rock we can say it's known as shattering. It is known as shattering. Because of this, mechanical weathering occurs. Next is crystal growth. Third main reason of mechanical weathering is crystal growth. Now, what is crystal growth? See, in the rocky coast areas, waves hit the sea cliff. Now, first, what is sea cliff? Sea cliff means what? Sea cliff is a very high area of land with a very steep side, especially one is next to the sea. Means next to the sea only, you can see there is a huge, you can like a mountain type. Yes, a huge land you can see over there. And it is very high. Yes, like a tower you can take it. Yes, it's very high and it's very steep side also. So due to this, now you have to, when we are learning this crystal growth, you have to keep the area in your mind, C area. Yes. And in that C areas, what will happen to the rocks that we will study. Now, continuously, most of the students, you have seen the sea coast area. Yes, in that area, mostly the tides, high tides, the waves of the sea, you have seen. Yes, continuously they hit on to the rocks. Yes, that hit of the sea waves, how they hit to the rocks, that is the reason of the crystal growth. Now, in detail, we will learn. See, in rocky coast areas, waves hit the sea cliff. The water is alkaline. Now, what is alkaline? Alkaline means it is having an effect, or you can say chemical behavior which is opposite to an acid, that is known as alkaline. Some water droplets hit the cracks in the rock. In this alkaline water, the soluble materials in the rock get dissolved. Due to this, what happens, student? Continuously there are the sea waves that hits the rock. Yes, due to this, what will happen? In this alkaline water, the soluble materials in the rock get dissolved. This leads to the formation of small holes in the rocks. As we have studied, in the rock, there are small minerals. Yes, there are minerals. And continuously the sea waves, they will hit the rock. Due to that, what will happen? You can see the small holes in the rocks. This is effect of solution. This is the effect of solution. Alkaline water gets stored in these holes. In these holes, there is a alkaline water inside the holes on the rocks. Because of heat, this water turns into the water vapor, and slowly, and only crystals of alkaline materials remain in the rock. Crystals occupy more space. This causes tension in the rock. Holes are formed in the rock. It looks like a honeycomb. This type of rock can be seen in the sea coast area only. Yes, where there is a continuous sea waves heats on the rock. And due to this, what will happen? Alkaline water, they will accumulate on the rock only, in those holes. Yes, and when it will, then because of the heat, this water will turn into water vapor. And only the crystals which are there in that water or in the stone, that will remain as it is in the rock. And it will look like a honeycomb. This is the reason of the mechanical weathering occurs because of crystal growth also. Yes. Now, the fourth reason of mechanical weathering, that is release of pressure. Release of pressure means what? Now see, it is not that tension is created in the rocks only. Because of temperature, freezing of water, or crystallization. Now, it is not the tension is created in the rock. Yes. Now, release of pressure means what? Due to the tension only, the pressure of the rock will increase. But this is not the reason. Tension is not the reason. There is, because of the temperature, freezing of water or crystallization. There is another reason of the tension is also there, but there is about the temperature, about the freezing point, freezing of water or crystallization. The outer layer of the rock exert pressure on the inner or outer layers. When this pressure ceases to exist, the lower or inner layers get freed from the pressure. This is also leads to the weathering. Now, let's take an example of you can take a smiley ball. Yes, when we take the smiley ball in our hand, yes, when we give the pressure to it, the inner part of the ball, smiley ball, it gets contracting. Yes, it becomes, we are giving pressure to the ball. So in the same case, the inner layers, they get it freed. That is, they get pressure. So that's why they get decreased over there. But slowly when we open our pressure, when we free the pressure, that time you can see the layers, they are freed over there from the pressure. They are not under any pressure. So this is the release of the pressure. Because of this, mechanical weathering is occur. This also leads to the weathering. For this release of pressure, keep the example of smiley ball. Last main reason of mechanical weathering is water. Now, some areas experiences more rainfall than others. In such areas, soaking of rock water also causes weathering. Of some rocks like sandstone, canglo, in such areas, soaking of rock water also causes weathering of some rocks like sandstone conglomerate. Agglomeration. In such, these rocks are formed because of pressure on the agglomeration of sand particles. Mud also makes sand particles come together. When water penetrates such rock, these particles get loose and separate from the main rock. This is called as granule weathering. Now, here you can see the image. You can see the first image. You can see there is a stone. Yes. And in the second image, you can see there are grains like stones. Yes, we have as we know about the grains. Yes, you can see there are the small grains of the rock in his hand. Now, what it happens? Let's see. First, let's understand what is conglomerate. Conglomerate means it is mixture or it grouped together. Conglomerate means this word, it means as a mixture or a grouped together. And agglomeration means you can say the pebbles, student, collection of pebbles, that is agglomeration. Now, in such areas where soaking of rock water also causes weathering. Some rocks, while sandstone conglomerate, means where areas which areas they are asking here, whether in the areas rainfall, heavy rainfall can be seen. In this type of area, student, soaking of rock of water can be seen due to the heavy rain, and also because of weathering, some rocks like sandstone conglomerate. Means if there is more rainfall there, then this type of rock can be seen. These rocks are formed because of the pressure on the agglomeration of sand particles. Due to this, what will happen? Because of the pressure, you can see the separation of the rock of the small particles can be seen. Mud also makes sand particles come together. When water penetrates such rock, the particles get loose and separate from the main rock. When water penetrates, when the water comes in contact with the rock, that time you can see the particles, they will start losing, and they will be separate from the rock. So when this separation of this from the rock, when the minerals which are being separated from the rock, that is known as granular weathering. So this was the 5 reasons of mechanical weathering. First, it was temperature, forest, crystal growth, release of pressure, and last was about water. So here, what we have studied about the mechanical weathering, there are 5 reasons of mechanical weathering which occurs. And now we are going to learn the second type of weathering. Yes. Before that, before chemical weathering, there is one topic we have left out. We'll learn that. Sometimes both temperature and water are responsible for weathering. Sometimes what happens, temperature also and water also, they are responsible for weathering. Difference in temperature causes contraction and expansion, widening the joints or the crack in the rocks. Water accumulates in such wide joints and big blocks of rock separates from each other. This is called as block integration. Yes, when you travel to the hill towns, when you're hill station, when you are traveling, this type of rock can be seen. That is known as block integration. Due to why it is happen? Because sometimes what will happen, temperature and water, they both are responsible for the weathering. So because of the contraction, increasing and decreasing of the temperature, due to this, what will happen? Cracks can be seen, creeps can be seen on the rocks. So this type is known as block integration. If there will be more tension, more temperature, there will be wide joints or wide cracks on the rock. So this was about the block integration. Second type of weathering, that is chemical weathering. Now here you can see the 2 glasses are there. Yes, 2 glasses. Yes, here you can see activity. Can you see on your screen? There is one glass with water, and in that we have put it color chalks inside the water. Pieces of chalk can be seen. On the next day, you have to observe that what will happen? Did the color of the water will change? What will happen to the chalk? Now, when we put the pieces of chalk into the water, definitely uh, the color of the water will change. Why the color of the water will change? Because we have put it inside the color chalks. When it will start separating their particles, as we has know that chalks are made up of small particles. When they will start dissolving in the water, they will separate their particles. So yes, the water of the color will change. Then here, what will happen to the chalk? What will happen to the chalk? Chalk will be start dissolving slowly. Yes, the particles will get easily separated. Then second, see the example. Second activity. Here you can see. You have to take the wet cloth. Yes, inside that wet cloth, you have to keep the nails. And after 2 days, you have to observe what happens. Are there any stains on the cloth? Here you can see. Which color are they? What could be the reason for the stain? Yes, definitely there will be the change. Change can be seen on the wet cloth. You can see the reddish color on the cloth, student. Yes, and why it happens? Because in the nails there are minerals. Yes, that when it gets mixture, when it reacts with the water, the reddish color you can see on the wet cloth. So this is the reason. This is the example of the chemical weathering. When any minerals, they will react with the water, this type of chemical weathering can be seen. Now we are going to learn the geographical explanation about the chemical weathering. Water plays an important role in chemical weathering. Water is the main important role in the chemical, as we have studied in this two activity. Rock is a mixture of many minerals. Water is a universal solvent. Many things get dissolved easily in the water. The solubility increases because of the matter has dissolved in water. And those materials which do not dissolve easily in water get dissolved in such solutions. In areas that heavy rainfall receives heavy rainfall, chemical weathering occurs in the following way. Means in the areas where there is a heavy rainfall, in that area you can see the chemical weathering, it occurs. But when it occurs, there are also some points that we have to keep it in our mind. So the first, due to the carbonation, chemical weathering occurs. Now, in this weathering, you have to keep the area which receive heavy rainfall. For this, you have to keep it in your mind in this chemical weathering. Chemical weathering, heavy rainfall. The water travels through the atmosphere before reaching the ground. Carbon dioxide in the air gets mixed in the water in this process. Now, as the rain falls, students, as the rain falls, the water droplets, they falls on the ground. But before reaching to the ground, air which is, yes, the air which is traveling in the atmosphere, they get mixed up with the water, and that time in this process, it is known as dilute carbonic acid get formed. dilute carbonic acid gets formed. Materials like limestone get easily dissolved in such acids. So here they have given the solution. Water plus carbon dioxide is equal to carbonic acid. This is about the carbonation. Means when the rainwater travels through the atmosphere, when it reaches when it before reaching the ground, the air which is traveling in the atmosphere, they get mixed up with the water, and in this process it is known as dilute carbonic acid. It gets formed, and then we can see there is a carbonation in the chemical weather. Next point is about solution. Now solution means what? See here. Some minerals in the rock get dissolved in the water. Limestone is formed due to the chemical precipitation between water and alkaline. Now, the image you can see on your screen, student, as we know that some minerals, they get dissolved in water also. Limestone is formed due to chemical precipitation between water and alkaline. At Vadgaon Darya in Ahmednagar district, limestone gets precipitated chemically, which undergoes chemical weathering again. Similarly, because of solution alkaline, the rock dissolve and make them brittle. Now, the image you can see on your screen, the rock, due to the heavy rain, yes, or we can see there is a mixture of minerals with the water. Due to this type of solution can be seen on the rock. And when this solution is there in the rock, it start dissolving and they will make then the rock breakable. Brittle means breakable. And this type of example can be seen at the Vadgaon Darya. It's in Ahmednagar district. This type of solution rock can be seen. Next, third main reason of chemical weathering is oxidization. Now this process, it occurs in the rock which have iron present in them. See, before this we have seen the activity of the ions, of the nails. The nails which are kept under the wet cloth. Yes, when we observe after 2 days, there is a reddish color over there on the wet cloth. That is known as the oxidization. See, when there is a heavy rainfall, student, and when we there is a, in the gallery you can, the grill is there. Yes, if we will not paint it, due to the rainfall, due to the heavy rainfall, also that grill color will change, will be, you can see there is a rust on it. Yes, rust on it. So if we will not color the this grill, and due to the heavy rainfall, you can see there is a rust over there on the grill. So this was about the chemical weathering example of the oxidization. The process occurs in the rock which have iron present in the rock. The iron in the rock comes in contact with water and chemical reaction takes place between iron and oxygen. Hence, a reddish color layer forms on the rock. This is called rust. When you kept nails in the wet cloth, you must have noticed similar thing. Similar process occurs in the rock areas with high rainfall. There are many more processes involved in chemical weathering beside the ones mentioned above. Daily life example also they have given. When we cut the when we cut the apple, yes, then the slice of the apple, it turns brown. These are the examples in our daily life. Also, the moistening of table salts in rainy season. This is the example in our daily life of the oxidization. Third type of weathering, that is biological weathering. Now, what is biological weathering? Biological weathering means besides mechanical and chemical weathering, biological factors are responsible for weathering of rocks. Now, in the biological weathering, you have to keep it in your mind about the living organisms. Yes. Now, have you visited any fort, or have you seen trees growing on the myriads? You must have seen pieces of rock getting separated because of roots of the trees. The image you can see, student, there is an old temple over there, and on it you can see the roots of the tree. Roots of the tree can be seen on the temple. So as the roots grow bigger, they create tension in the rock and start breaking them. When these heavy roots, when they start growing on the rock, that time, due to the pressure of the roots, can be seen the rock will start breaking the rock. So this is about the chemical, this is about the biological weathering example. See the more example now we'll learn over here. Ants make large anthills, rats, mice, rabbits, and other worms and insects make burrows in the ground. These animals are called burrowing animals. Because of their activity, weathering of rock occurs. Beside these, algae, moss, lichen, other flora, etc. grow in the rock. They also help in weathering. Now, see student, we are going to continue the same lesson on Monday. We'll learn about in detail about the biological weathering. Same lesson will continue on Monday through this biological weathering. And also we are going to see question answers of this lesson also as a revision part. Okay, student? So here we have learned only the two types of weathering till now. Same we are going to continue on Monday.